wake up, wake up. It's the Flow Show, no filter, back for another TGIF Friday. Thank God it's Friday. Another long week has come to an end. But before I get into today's news, let me cover my ass. No Diddy. The thoughts, views, and opinions shared on the Flow Show No Filter are for educational and entertainment purposes only. I am not a professional. I am just good. Good morning, everybody. Who we got up in here? Good morning, Kathy, Melissa, RX, Rachel, Lily, Desi, what's up? And everybody else coming on in, come on in, come on in. Ooh, this was a busy, hectic week. I'm glad for Friday today. I don't know about y'all. This was a hell week. This is so much work that I had to do this week. I've been online morning, noon, and night. C-Tuck says, good morning, Flow and crew. Make sure y'all like the live as y'all enter, please. And thank you in advance. Happy Friday, y'all. It's been a long time coming, but I know a change gonna come. Yes, it will. What's up? So, man, there's some stuff going around in the rumor mill. The rumor mill is rumoring. We're gonna talk a little bit about this, going to some crazy Diddy news that's going around. I don't know if y'all heard it yet, but I don't know what the hell to believe no more. At this point, until we have sentencing, I'm just gonna bring y'all whatever the hell come my way, and we get to just decipher what's real, what's not real. Is this a shit show? Is it a sham? Is it a dog and pony show? What the hell is really up with this Diddy stuff? I don't know. Are they really trying to prosecute him? Did he get away with it? Is they gonna give him a slap on the wrist? They're gonna give him 100 years. Right now, it's all over the place, man. I don't know what to believe at this point. All I know is the only person we got left is the damn judge. If the judge don't uphold the law, then we just do. Ain't nothing else to say. It's just been so confusing. I don't even really know what's going on. What? I know the judge and the prosecutors have been kind of quiet lately. I can't say that. So they could be working on something. Who knows? What's up? What's up? How's everybody's Thirsty Thursday though? Shit. Elise, Kayla, what's up? Any weekend plans for anybody? Anybody got anything exciting going on for this weekend before we get into this Diddy mess? Any exciting weekend plans out there? Anybody going to see Chris Brown? You know, y'all love y'all Chris Brown. Anybody going to concerts? Anything this weekend? I know my Browns football season start this weekend. I'm excited about that. I get all excited every year about Browns season, and then by the fourth week, we out of the playoffs. The whole season be over in like 4 or 5 weeks. We back to thinking about the next year, who the fuck we gonna pick. But what can you say? I'm happy football season is back. The Cowboys and Cowboys and Eagles went at it last night. I believe the Eagles won. and Dak and whoever the other dude named, they were spitting in each other's face and all that. So NFL is officially back in season. I see we got some Eagles fans in here. See, we got some Fly Eagles Fly. We got some Seattle Seahawks. Okay, who else? What other fans we got in here? So we got Seattle Seahawks. We got Eagles. We got some Colts fans. Somebody say watching my Colts play. Who else? What other fans we got in here? Okay, we got Libby Bear waiting on their Chiefs. Kathy waiting on the Hawks. All right. Any teams? Did I miss anybody? I see the Chiefs. Oh, the Vegas Raiders. Okay. Yeah, I think we played in Vegas. I would like to go out there when the Browns play the Raiders. Vegas is always a good time. Okay, Civil Lions fans. Atlanta Falcons. Okay, we got some fun. We got some football fans in here. I ain't the only one excited about the new season. I hate that they were spitting in each other's face last night. That's a hell of a way to start the season. But hey, it's football. Somebody down in the dumps about their team like me. She said, "My whack Giants, hoping Russell will do something." I guess I'm the black sheep of the family. I'm just a good old racing girl. Okay. C-Tech says it's all about the Browns, though, Flo. Yeah, man. Let's hope, man, we can at least get to like the end of the season and still be in the playoff race. I hate when I wait all this time for the season to start, and by week 5, we talking about who we drafted next year because we out of the fucking playoffs. she said, shout out to everybody team, no disrespect. What's up, Portia? Who you rooting for in this NFL season before we get into this Diddy mess? Kathy said, Coach Peach Carroll is her boyfriend, Marshawn Lynch, and her boyfriend, Marshawn Lynch. Yeah. I'm just here so I won't get fined. Mister, I'm just here because I won't just fined. I'm in the UK. I'm in the UK. I have no clue. Okay, gotcha. Well, on that note, now take this for what you want, but it comes from one of the podcasts that I kind of stay in tune with. Sometimes they have some breaking news, and they've been following Diddy and a lot of the stories we're into. They follow him. They used to be called Tough News. They changed his name to Carolina Crush or something like that. It's a YouTube podcast or whatever. We got some crazy. Some source that came out with some crazy Diddy info. If it's true, this might be what they're working on behind the scenes. If it ain't true, then it's just some more smoke. But at any rate, we're gonna dive into it and see what we come up with today. So he received a message on that podcast. I'm gonna read the message first, then we're gonna go into it. This is what they're saying. This is what the source said. One of his sources said, and this is supposed to be coming from a former Diddy security guard, but not the ones you've been seeing all over the internet, like on YouTube. So not Gene Deal and not what the other? I forgot the other one name, but not none of the main ones. This is one who's supposedly been more under the radar. So it's not one of the ones we've been seeing everywhere. But it's supposed to be a Diddy security guard. He says Diddy's former assistant, Brendan Paul, is said to have proof that Diddy was responsible for Kim Porter's death and also Shakir Stewart's death. Now, I covered both of those, but I covered an in-depth story on Shakir Stewart. If you're one of my subscribers on Buzzsprout, then you know about the Shakir Stewart story. He said this happened back in 2008 in Atlanta. The hitman that was hired by Diddy to knock off Shakir is supposedly feeling guilty and is willing to come forward only if he is granted immunity. This guy says he still has the cell phone that indicates timestamps with Diddy asking him, was it done yet? The phone was through Metro PCS at the time, but he has kept all the receipts for all these years and says he was paid $125,000 for the hit. If you don't know about Shakir Stewart was a famous, well-known executive in the music industry. I actually had the pleasure of meeting Shakir Stewart, knew a lot about him. He was a great guy. For all y'all know that I was in the music, I was rapping and all that. So I knew a lot of these executives. He used to come over and kick it with me and Floyd and stuff. And we actually went out to the club together. Shakir Stewart was a good guy, good spirit. Like he was one of those people that just had a good spirit. He signed and did business with Jay-Z, Rick Ross, Neo, Beyonce. He was a heavyweight back in the early 2000s. Well, he got caught up in a love triangle with Diddy and Kim Porter. To the point where him and Diddy did have an altercation in which Diddy assaulted Shakir Stewart and threatened his life. And apparently told Kim that he was going to do something to Shakir Stewart. This security guard, former former Diddy security guard, is saying that Brendan Paul has evidence and that he has evidence, and that the hitman is willing to come forward with immunity. Now, when Shakir died from a quote-unquote self-inflicted gunshot wound, I believe it was to the head. And when that happened, many people, damn near everybody, was like, there's no way Shakir Stewart would have killed himself. He was at the top of his game in the industry. He was one of the top executives, a well-liked guy, good spirit, and people had a hard time believing that in the middle of his success, he wasn't miserable or he didn't have any, mental health issues that anybody knew about. And then all of a sudden, he gets into a beef with Diddy over Kim Porter. And all of a sudden, he shoots himself. So to give y'all a little background, I pulled up an article to give y'all a little background on the Shakir Stewart Diddy connection. This is hip hop news. Diddy allegedly broke a chair over Shakir Stewart's head and left him bloody. So let's get into what happened in this situation. Disparaging news about Diddy has come seemingly weekly. After CNN leaked the Cassidy. This was back when the Cassidy shit came out. Earlier, Rolling Stone published a damning article revealing stories of Diddy's alleged behavior in even more detail. They spoke to dozens of former employees and collaborators, with very few coming to his defense. One particularly, one particularly evoked a story they shared involved the rap mogul taking revenge out on a man dating his ex, Kim Porter. That man was Shakir Stewart. Shakir Stewart reportedly had a chair broken over his head by Diddy, something that was corroborated by his close friends and even Shakir Stewart's mother in the story. And so, what was going on between these two? This happened reportedly in the year 2000. On Tuesday, May 28th, Rolling Stone published accounts gathered from various figures in Combs' circle who claimed Combs broke a chair over the head of uh, Combs' Kim Porter's ex-boyfriend Shakir. Porter died of pneumonia in 2018. Stewart died by suicide in 2008. Combs and Porter first connected in 1994 and dated on and off until the year 2007. Their relationship concluded when the late model learned Combs had fathered daughter Chance with Sarah Chapman while she was pregnant with their twin daughters. So, to follow the story, Kim and Diddy, they broke it off in 2007 once Kim learned that Diddy had Sarah pregnant at the same time that Kim was pregnant. Is anybody surprised that Diddy had two women pregnant at the same time? Of course not. But in 2000, Porter dated late music executive Shakir Stewart. Of course, this angered Diddy. That summer, Combs, Porter, and Stewart were all in Italy for L.A. Reid's wedding. So now, summer of 2000, just so happens that it's L.A. Reid's wedding. There's tension between Shakir Stewart, Diddy, and Kim Porter because Shakir Stewart and Diddy dated. If you recall, Diddy went crazy and blew up Cuddy's car over Cassie. So we've seen many stories of Diddy being upset about his girlfriends or his ex talking to other guys and him getting violent behind. So now Shakir Stewart, Kim Porter, and Diddy are in Italy for L.A. Reid's wedding. Now, at the time of this event, it is reported that Diddy went to Shakir Stewart's room after the ceremony and broke a chair over his head. He left him bleeding on the hotel floor in Italy. This is Shakir Stewart's mom. Shakir Stewart's mother recalls this. She said that he had to have stitches, and then Combs threatened him, saying, "I am going to unalive you." That's when Shakir's mom told Shakir, "You need to get out of the business. This man is crazy." Additionally, Porter previously told Essence that while the couple were separated and he was dating Jennifer Lopez, Combs would call Porter 50 to 60 times a day, adding, "It was like my life was not my own." He was very, very intrusive. Rolling Stone also reported on claims that Combs physically abused Porter behind all this stuff. So we see the pattern. Diddy relationship goes sour, and then his ex, whether it's Kim, whether it's Cassie, whoever, it doesn't matter. They start dating somebody new. Diddy goes crazy. Now, Shakir Stewart supposedly unalived himself under mysterious circumstances, to say the least. So now, would Diddy pay somebody $125,000 to put a hit up? Now, listen to the depth. Shakir Stewart, the executive who succeeded Jay-Z and the head of hip hop music Def Jam Recordings, died from a self-inflicted gunshot wound at his home in suburban Atlanta, police say. Stewart was found in the bathroom of his home in Marietta and was pronounced dead at the nearby hospital. Listen to this, y'all. Police described the shooting as self-inflicted and would not say who discovered Stewart. Why would they not say who discovered Stewart dead? Why would that be a big secret? Out of nowhere, a guy on top of the world, a guy who had a good spirit, happy-go-lucky, positive dude. I'm telling you this from experience, not from what people told me. I met Shakir several times, and the industry is so shady. You remember the good people that you meet because most of them are shady and ignorant and assholes. So when you run across somebody who's like tops in the industry, like a Shakir Stewart who was on top of the world, and they're still a humble person, still cool, still laid back, still like a down to earth person, it sticks out in you. So, like I said, when I met Shakir, he was cool as hell. Didn't seem like the type that maybe it was only maybe a year after I met him and kicked it around with him a few times. I don't even think it was maybe a year and a half when this happened. And I was like, damn, he always seemed like a super cool person. So he died with a self-inflicted gunshot. And then the person who discovered him remains nameless. Someone on behalf of the only person that we have saying something was Stewart's fiance, saying over the past several weeks, Shakir's behavior was inconsistent with the man we all know and love. As much as we tried to help him, Shakir was in deep pain, largely suffering in silence. The Oakland native moved to Atlanta to attend Morehouse College, where he graduated in '96, got a bachelor's degree in marketing, and started promotion. It became a big hip hop and R&B influencer. He worked with many stars. Many people believe that his life was threatened, and he was getting a lot of weird messages, and it was driving him crazy. Was that coming from the hitman? Are these some of the text messages that he says he has? This is a very strange, this was always a strange and mysterious death. Rachel says it makes zero sense. How could you have someone who discovered the body, why? What would be the purpose that they have to be remaining nameless? To me, it sounds like somebody had an inside connect on the. Somebody had an inside connect. So then, shortly after that, they say details emerge. It's from Hip Hop GX. Details emerge in the Shakir Stewart suicide. Nobody, you got messages that came out from all type of anonymous people. People said Shakir Stewart did not commit suicide. Many people left messages, whether it was on X or Twitter, people that knew him. Everybody would say he did not commit suicide. It doesn't even make sense. And then I'm starting to believe, could we believe? I don't even know if we could believe. The only person coming out saying that he was acting weird was his fiance, who I don't even know if we can believe anything that anybody's saying. But now we go back to this Brendan Paul. If you remember, Brendan Paul was Diddy's assistant who was getting the drugs and doing all of the flunky work for Diddy. Now they saying he got some evidence. But what I don't like is that they say they have evidence, but then all this shit gets suppressed. Are the feds working on something, or is this just bullshit? Because if you have people saying these type of crazy things, what I don't understand is why wouldn't it be addressed by the authorities? You got a hitman that's supposedly saying they want immunity to say that to give proof that Diddy unalived Kim and Shakir Stewart. To me, that seems like that would be like a 911. It seems like you would get on top of that shit. So, like I said, everything surrounding this case has just been weird. It's like all of this smoke, but nobody follows up on it. And it seems like there are people inside of inside of like law enforcement, which we've heard from previous stories that, often the celebrities, people with money have insides, in the law enforcement, and they're able to get stuff pushed to the side, get stuff buried. And that's what it seems like people are running into. It's almost like, if I was to guess, it's almost like people on the inside, not just Diddy, people on the inside are implicated, are involved in a lot of this bullshit. So they have a lot of incentive to hide shit, to bury shit, to not follow up on shit. And it seems like that's what we could be running into in a lot of these cases. We all looking at Diddy, but it's somebody, it ain't just him that's able to bury this shit. I think there are people in law enforcement that are involved, people inside the system that are involved that have just as much incentive, or if not more incentive, to hide this. More incentive than Diddy. And it seems like that's why, because even when I look at this Shakir Stewart situation, you look at the Kim Porter situation, how she mysteriously died. You don't get a lot of you don't hear a lot of people around the situation even talking. Like in the Shakir Stewart situation, you hear a couple quotes from his mom, a quote from his fiance, but other than that, you don't really hear much from anybody on the inside. And then you hear stuff like the person who discovered the body is not being named. To this day, to this day, the person is not being named. It's corruption all across the board. All right, Melissa, take it easy. But corruption is running rampant. Take the Kim Porter situation. It's been shady stuff said about the coroner, and that coroner has been caught up in stuff, and people who were at the scene, and some people say they were at the scene, and people don't believe that. They say that Kim Porter was perfectly healthy, and then all of a sudden, just ammonia struck out of nowhere. And it just so happened she was about to put a lot of business out there, a lot of stuff, and get to the bottom and expose a lot that the diddler was in. Who knows? But it really starting to. It really feels like there's a lot of people in this system that have a lot to hide, that are in cahoots with Diddy, and he probably, if he was involved in any of this stuff, he probably made sure that there were powerful people involved too, so that if any of this stuff came to the light, that the powerful people would have just as much incentive to hide, to bury stories as he does. Fire Glory says she was supposed to expose Diddy in the hip hop industry. Yeah, she didn't even get a chance to because of this. Now, two things. It's possible that this information has got to the feds and they're investigating, and that is some of the stuff they're talking about. When I told you before, I've been hearing rumblings that people are the feds are supposed to be bringing more charges. Shout out to Angelina for the $4.99. We call that a $5 hollow. Fridays, today is payday. Don't forget, y'all. I appreciate it. Everybody tell Angelina. She says, fuck Diddy and anyone that supports him. Simple and plain. Angie came in hot. Angie, you came in hot on this TGIF. I ain't mad at you. Hope I didn't miss them. Let me backtrack because I wasn't paying attention. Make sure I didn't miss anybody else. Make sure I didn't miss any other super chats or super stickers on this Friday payday. But yeah, y'all. Remember we said the feds, the rumor was the feds were working on more charges. Maybe they are, maybe they aren't. I don't know for sure. I don't know for sure, but something going on. I know the feds are so quiet you can hear a cat piss on cotton. So something going on. Whether they quiet because they don't have shit to say, or they quiet because they working on something. I just know they ass quiet. Grandma Kathy says, what pisses me off is why did it take so long for the freak offs to be exposed? Yeah. That's how you know it's a lot going on behind the scenes, a lot with our government. just like the Epstein situation, man. They have been burying shit for decades, centuries. And the more we scream, the more they try to bury. But we got to continue to bring, the truth to the forefront. But man, it's a lot. Like I said, that lets you know it's deeper than Diddy when it comes to this system. Because a lot of this stuff, you got all these people willing to speak, but then you go to the trial and it's nothing but like none of the heavy shit that we hearing before the trial. We don't hear about any of that during the trial. That is the part that gets me. And it's like only two things can be true. All this shit is made up, or the whole government as a whole is burying this shit. Only one or two things. Only two outcomes are possible. All I know is this bullshit, and it makes you think like, man, I can't wait for this. First of all, it just makes you ready for the sentencing, because the sentencing, Diddy's sentencing is going to tell us a lot. Diddy's sentencing is going to tell us a whole lot. If he walks in there, they say time served, then you already know what it's about. But if he walks in there and they throw the book at him, then you pretty much know there's more shit coming. And that's kind of how I'm looking at the sentencing. The sentencing is going to be a measuring stick of what's to come. So we are going to really watch and see what comes out of that. Sad story, man, just to bring up. I don't know if y'all been watching Dame Dash, but Dame Dash says he's only worth $5,000 and owes $25 million. He ain't got no teeth in his mouth. He has some type of eye surgery going on. Dame just looking bad, man. It's like the curse of being with that Jay-Z. Ever since he split up with Jay-Z, it's like he's been cursed. And I don't know if a lot of y'all follow Dame Dash, but man, it's just been sad. Of one of the moguls of hip hop, one of the few people that's not caught up in all of this sexual assault and all that. You don't hear too many stories about Dame Dash. He's done some few things that I don't agree with, but who hasn't? But to see how sad he's looking now, it just popped up on my phone. It's like, dang. It's like, damn. What the hell happened to Dame Dash? He just filed bankruptcy. And I'm like, damn, man. You either signing deals with the devil or your ass going bankrupt, it seems like. So Rock Nation has been in the news crazy. I don't know if y'all been following that, but Rock Nation has been in the news. A lot of craziness behind them. Waiting for the story to develop before I start talking shit about it. But we got some Rock Nation shit coming out soon. Hard Pierre. Check this out, y'all. Check this out. Y'all remember Harv Pierre that worked for Diddy? Harv Pierre is the guy that worked for Diddy, and a lot of us believe he was involved in a lot of this shit too. Why Harv Pierre wasn't called to the stand is beyond me. But check out what's going on with Harv Pierre now. Harv Pierre lawyer says, my client is not working. He does not have resources for discovery. And in this case, this is a case that a civil case that has Harv wrapped up in it. They say that there is evidence that Mr. Combs filmed his crimes. Says that's all I have to say, Your Honor. So, like, Harv Pierre is in this case, is in one of the civil cases, and Harv Pierre is broke too. Now, this was Diddy's boy. Why all of a sudden he broke and ain't got no business? This is in the Anna Cain versus Sean Combs case. Anna Cain. Let me pull that up. Anna Cain versus Sean Combs. Hold on one second. Anna Cain. Now, this one is actually like something. Jane Doe, who accused Diddy of rape, reveals her name inspired by a brave woman. Anna Cain, the ex-wife of the Edmonton Oilers player Evander Kane, has publicly come forward with an essay sought against Diddy. Kane sued Combs, former Bad Boy CEO, and Harv Pierre, and a third known associate of sex trafficking her when she was 17 years old. 1 month after Cassie filed her lawsuit. In that filing, Kane claimed that Pierre approached her at a Detroit area lounge in Michigan and convinced her to take a private jet with him and a third assailant to Diddy's studio, Daddy's house. Kane alleges she was also given rugs and alcohol before being viciously essayed. This is what the lawsuit claimed. Things took a turn when she allegedly began to slip in and out of consciousness. Kane claims the three men took turns raping her in a bathroom. She blacked out, and that's all she remembers. Combs denied it, but they are in the middle of court right now, and they believe that they have a filming of some of this shit. As alleged in the complaint, Diddy preyed on vulnerable high school teenagers as part of whatever they had going on with him and Harv Pierre. Kane's lawyer, Douglas Wigdor, said in a statement, this is not surprisingly that this has scarred our client for life. Now, this case is actually going on right now. It's being covered by Inner City Press. If you want to stay tuned to this case, they are in court now. They were in court yesterday, and Harv Pierre is saying that his lawyer is saying he don't have any money to fight, basically. So is Diddy leaving them out to dry, or what the hell going on? But Harv Pierre is another one. I can't believe he wasn't called to testify. Like, he was so in deep of all this stuff. How could he have not been called to testify? in the Diddy case. This was like Diddy's right-hand man for much of those years. But this is what they're saying about this victim. Unlike many victims who have come forward after decades, Miss Doe can prove that she not only met Mr. Combs on the night in question, but was in the studio in New York City with him on that night. She was only 17 years old, and she has pictures and video, allegedly. So this might be some shit. So I'm gonna keep up with this lawsuit. Of course, the defense is trying to get this pushed back. Try to get this pushed back. But we haven't had a ruling on the judge. Like I said, if you don't know who Inner City Press is, he was the one giving us all the background of the Diddy case. I mean, the Diddy trial as it was going on. He was giving us all the transcripts. Very well respected journalist. I've been following him for a long time, but he's covering this Anna Cain versus Sean Combs trial, which is going on, which they had a hearing yesterday. The third, Cain's lawyer says we have the defendant, of course, but the third assailant, we need discovery to find out who they are. So whoever this third person is, they are in hiding. So they know it was Diddy, Harv Pierre, and some third motherfucker. Wow. So they trying to set up discovery so they can find out who this third person who is yet to be named. But Harv is saying he don't have no money, no work. He has no resources to be even fight this shit or to be a part of the discovery. This is crazy. This like literally came out of nowhere. I know this was filed a while ago, but they actually get into the meat of this shit now. So the lawyer, bottom line is they saying Harv Pierre is not working. So I don't know. Diddy must have threw Harv Pierre to the wolves. And now we talked about that too. And why wouldn't KK be called? It just none of that shit makes sense. None of it makes sense. Is that why? Is that part of the reason why the prosecutor was fired? Or were they fired because they got some other shit they working on? It is just a lot of bullshit going on right now. It really is. It's a lot of crap going on right now. We can't say enough. How in the fuck can KK not be called at all? That will never make sense to me. And to be honest, if you're not gonna call Christina Korm, aka KK, you're not gonna call D-Rock, you're not gonna call Uncle Paulie or whoever, or any of these people who were involved in Diddy's right-hand man, how can you even be really trying to win? Can somebody answer that question to me? I mean, you could not have told me that none of them were going to be called. That made no sense whatsoever. for her to be so much involved and to not get called at all makes no sense whatsoever. I'm thinking throughout the whole trial, I'm sitting back waiting. I'm waiting on her to be called. I'm like, all right. The part when everything when they're gonna blow the socks off this thing, it's gonna be the part when Christina Korm is called. I had no clue. There was nothing you could have told me that she was not going to be called. I'm thinking they were saving her for the end. They never called. That makes no sense. She wasn't subpoenaed. This is the one that you saying is orchestrating all the freak offs and running Diddy's quote unquote Rico empire. Yet she's not subpoenaed and with no explanation. That's how you know something wasn't right about that whole shit. It makes no sense. But you calling Kid Cudi. You subpoenaing Kid Cudi, but not subpoenaing KK. You subpoenaing fashion stylist motherfuckers who was just around to make sure people's clothes was right. You subpoenaing them, but you ain't subpoenaing D-Rock. You're not subpoenaing none of the security that was supposed to be running around with guns. You just got the victims up there crying their heart out and putting airing their dirty laundry for the world, and you don't even have the decency to call the main perpetrators. That don't make no fucking sense. But you subpoenaing Kid Cudi. You subpoenaing people who were victims, making them testify, but people who actually victimize motherfuckers, you not calling them. Even Diddy didn't testify. So nobody who victimized motherfuckers was called to the stand. Do y'all realize that? Think about that. I'm going to say that again. No one who victimized these people were called to the stand. None of them were faced to say anything. What the fuck sense does that make? The only people who were forced to air their dirty laundry were the fucking victims and get put on blast for all the world to see. But you don't put the victimizers on blast. You don't put the perpetrators, the people who carried out this shit. None of them were forced to get in front of the world and talk. That don't make no sense. That don't make no sense. And the more I talk about it, the more I think about it, the more pissed it really make me at the end of the day. Just don't get it, y'all. Didn't even hit me till about a week ago that nobody who was supposed to be held accountable, they didn't even have to speak at the trial to beat these charges. Y'all realize that? They didn't even have to speak. Nobody was forced to say anything. They were allowed to stay quiet, stay at home. They didn't even have to come to the trial. They were allowed to stay at home and relax and not utter a word. Think about that. And then we surprised that the jury came with that verdict. And none of the people involved were forced to testify. You almost, even though I can't stand the jury either, but for them not to call nobody else that's supposed to be involved in the RICO, you damn near can't blame the jury. You gotta blame the fucking court system, the prosecutors. Because if it's a RICO, motherfuckers should be getting called who you saying was involved in this shit. Diddy didn't testify. Christina Korn didn't testify. D-Rock didn't testify. None of these people who were supposed to be carrying out all this shit, none of them had to say anything. The only people who were forced to say shit were the lowest people on the totem pole or people who didn't have shit to do with anything. What a joke. What a joke. And not a joke like ha ha. A joke like a clown show. Yeah, Tracy says, Diddy stopped his money movement immediately. All those working for him just got the boot. Yep, it sure did. Y'all know we get to that conclusion when Zebra Flow come out. Sherry says, Wake and Bake crew tapping in, puff, puff, pass. Hey, Sherry, much love to you. Didn't make any sense, y'all. No, I know Diddy didn't have to testify. But my point was nobody who had anything to do testify in this case, including Diddy. I know it's Diddy's choice, but it just adds to the fact that literally none of the perpetrators, none of the alleged perpetrators even spoke and they got away with it. That's my point. Think about that. None of them. Diddy didn't speak. KK didn't speak. D-Rock didn't have to speak. None of them had to speak. That's crazy. But I saw somebody in the chat say something that I believe. They said October 3rd can't come fast enough. October 3rd, we're going to know exactly what the fuck is going on. October 3rd, we're going to know exactly what is going on. Whether this was a complete shit show or just partially a shit show. And with that, y'all, everybody enjoy their weekend. Let's get the I'm out in the chat. Join me Monday, 8:30 a.m. for the Flow Show, No Filter. Can't wait for the third. Let's get the I'm out in the chat, y'all. Another, if you just joined us late, go back and replay a lot. We uncovered a lot today on this Friday. Yeah. Let's get the I'm out in the chat. Let me see who we got in here. Who we got? Who we got? Who we got on the I'm outside? We got a little delay, so all good, Sherry. Sybil says, I'm out. Much love to you, Sybil. Enjoy your weekend. Enjoy your weekend, Desi. Much love. Much love, Angelina. Much love, much love, much love. Royal says, I'm out. Tracy says, I'm out. Love you, Flo, and our family. Love you too, Tracy. Matter of fact, love you more. Everybody, enjoy your weekend. Be safe. Good luck to all y'all football teams. Y'all know I'm rooting for my Browns. Come on, Browns. Don't let me down. I'm out. TGIF family. Love you, Rachel. We ready. Thank you, Flo. Thank everybody in here. And we're going to end it on my boy, C. Tuck says, I'm out. Have a safe and wonderful weekend, everybody. And as always, I love y'all, but I am out.